Hello, my name is Peter Wildman, and I'm an educational designer at the School of Physics at the University of Sydney. I'm also an independent artist, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the two-day class that you're about to take. It's a class that I designed for you, looking specifically at the Foucault Pendulum that you have in your School of Physics at Osnabrück University. Before I get into just describing a little bit about the class, I just want to kind of give you a bit of an introduction into my background. I've been a lecturer and academic in media arts and digital media for the past 10 years. And more recently, I've started doing education design at the School of Physics. What that means is I've collaborated with physics academics to improve student engagement and also create interesting ways that physics students can engage with pedagogy and their learning. I find this quite interesting for a lot of your situations because your art and design mostly are students who are going to go into education. So for this video, I kind of want to just give you a little bit of a background to some of the thinking that I have had and kind of some of the reasoning of why I've structured the two-day class that you're about to do in the way it is presented to you. I'm also a computer programmer and I work with electronics, and as an independent artist, I've done a lot of works that was really interested in science. I was a contractor for the CSIRO, which is Australia's chief scientific body, where I designed innovative interfaces for scientists to work with data. I've also been really interested in just my independent art practice, engaging with data and science and thinking of creative ways to engage with that. Before I get into the course structure, I just kind of want to talk to you about what it is to be an art or a design person engaging with science. There's going to be moments through the class that you're going to try and understand the science behind the Foucault pendulum, and I wish you well. It can be a complicated thing to get involved in science when it's not your background. Thankfully, you have a student from the physics school assisting you with some of that. But I guess the main thing I want to tell you whilst you're engaging with science, and especially when you aren't working too closely with scientists themselves with the collaboration, understanding the kind of concepts behind the science and understanding how things work is important. But you're not constrained to that. You're all coming from a different field, art and design and pedagogy. And that's really important to try and think that you are also bringing all of your experiences, approaches, and knowledge from those places. So as an artist, I'm often allowing myself to not be constrained by science because I'm not doing science, I'm doing art, and that art can transform science in a way that is offered just as a way of thinking through the science and thinking of different alternatives. Those alternatives might not necessarily be scientific. You know, a scientist might see an outcome of my practice and, not see it as science. They might see it as creativity and a new way of thinking, a new way of looking that may not even be uh, logical to the science itself. There's a long history of this. It's experimentation in art, but also, sci-fi and thinking through worlds that don't necessarily exist yet and situations that don't exist yet. So I encourage you not to get too concerned about the science as you're learning, but it's important to use it and try and understand it in a way that you can use it as a platform for you to then think imaginatively and creatively to create your own art and design work.